question was like how do programs maintain retention? And what I've learned is that sometimes we are all friends here, but one of the main reasons that it might not be being attained or throughout the year is because it's all a group of friends. It feels like a social circle. And what we lack from these workshops or study groups is that professional feeling that someone could actually facilitate, know what they're talking about. And through my connections with Oasis, such as Jeremy and Antoinette, I hope to be able to allow workshop facilitators, like actual workers from Oasis, to give up some of their time and actually become that support that the students need and be able to facilitate, learn, and at the same time grow. Because what I want to do as academic director is not being like, I know I don't have all the answers to everything. I know that. But being what I experience and from what other persons know, I can guide students. And being able to allow professionals as well as other students who know or master the program, I hope that I will be able to retain students in there. And I also want to add that in order to retain students, I need their satisfaction. I need their feedback. I want them to be able to not look at me as not just an officer of KP, but also as a friend. A friend that wants them to succeed, because one of the things that I know is because if you have student satisfaction on whatever you're doing, that's going to translate to your academic success. That's going to lead you to have more motivation on what you want to do. And finally, I would like to add that in order to retain students, there always has to be that connection with you and whoever organized it. And what I plan to retain from that is, I want to organize with every group or the leader of the group to give me feedback, or even one-on-one with the groups themselves, to give them this is what I expect from you as a group, and then I hope that even though you come or you don't, it's completely way I plan to give different environments for them where they want to learn, and just have whatever they want as their preferences. But what I want to include in that is they need to have that certain leader in order to keep them on track.
The original intent for the creation of this board position was to push for a Filipino studies program in UCSD. However, this part of the academic director's duty has become less prioritized in the last couple of years, and has become more focused on helping students with academics. What is your understanding of its importance to have courses that reflect Filipino history and contemporary issues?
From what I've learned, I was participated in Oasis Summer Ridge, and from what I've learned from that is that Filipinos are less than a quarter of the population here in UC San Diego. And one of our biggest struggles is the model minority myth. And what that is pretty much that everyone in the university, especially the white community, expects us that we're only book smart. And what I want them to learn from this, being an academic director, is that we're more than that. We're also street smart. That we're also, that we can also be guides to different communities, different races, different communities here. And I hope that with this position, I plan to gain more awareness of not only for myself, but also to students here around campus about the Filipino studies. And I hope that in order to do that, I plan to work with STAR as well as KP boards, because I know I can't do this myself. Even though if I will be working by myself, I know that I'm not afraid to talk to other people, other students, even professionals, even other students, other organizations, because I know that without communication, nothing can be done.
Well, the importance of or the whole purpose of, I believe, from what I can see, the whole purpose of KP is to provide a community, essentially, so everyone can feel connected, someone has a place to belong. And I believe that can start with a sort of you need to find your identity as a community first. In order to do that, you can educate, you can give them more background knowledge about them, give them some, like, teach about pride, all that kind of stuff, all just to shape the identity as a whole and just bring the community closer. And like pushing for this, like, it doesn't have to just be a class in itself. It could just be like little workshops that we could host. You could work with like cohorts. You can even do this, even set this identity earlier onset, like with like children and all that. Because the whole purpose of academic director is to like inform and present this class in order for us to build this community, this identity, and like we can do this earlier. It doesn't have to be a class. Of course, I'd love it to be a class, but like just as long as we can get the knowledge and accent out there, that's all that really matters.
This question's from Pauline. What is your understanding of academic retention in relation to KP Star and the Filipino community at UCSD?
Arson, can you repeat it?
Oh, sorry. What is your understanding of academic retention in relation to KP Star and the Filipino community at UCSD?
To me, academic retention is just like helping people get through the college, like, or not just through college, but like get them through college essentially. Like have them remember to prioritize academics. Like this is what you're here for, and remember that academics are what you're here for. But in relation to STAR, like because STAR itself it's more than just academics. It's all encompassing. It's about the relationship that you build with others. It's about the mentorship, the peer counselors, all that kind of stuff. And there also has to be, like I feel, not just an emphasis on academics, which is very important, but you also need the whole, like, the mentorship, because when you study, like, you will get stressed out. You will, like, feel, like, alone sometimes. And, like, that's why you need that mentorship. That's why you need the peer counselor. That's what STAR provides, and that's what is important overall, like, because you need not just academic, you need support, you need all of that in order to succeed academically as well.
So what retention to me is pretty much being able to having self-care for yourself first. You have to take care of yourself before you can in order to be able to help others. You need to be able to learn about who you are and what you stand for, before you become to sharing experiences with other students. And what I understand from retention is that's what we're here for. That's what we need to do. We need to be able to understand who we are as individuals, what we're good at, what we're weaknesses at, and especially the weaknesses. And I hope that with this position, I know that we can expose that weaknesses, because we want them to be, I want students to grow. And I don't want them to be that I'm going to be holding their hand while I'm doing it. No. I want them to show them, okay, so these are the ways that you can develop as a person, but I want them to be able to grow as independent for themselves. I want them to be able to stand up, speak for themselves, because sometimes it is in the university such as big as this, it's extremely difficult to stand out, especially in like lecture halls as well. All those eyes are staring at you, and then what do? What can you say? And sometimes you just don't know how. And what I hope to do with this retention is I want to motivate students that every single one of the staff here, not just only in KP, but the university as a whole, all of us, they want us to succeed. They want us to walk on that stage. They want us to walk on that stage knowing that we've taken away everything that we can at UCSD as a student, but also becoming a worker of the world, to become that leader for the community. And the only way to do that is in order to have self-care and personal development. Finally, and how does this relate to the UCSD community? KP is not where we end our journey as students. Where we end our students is when we are able to know how to spread it towards the UCSD community.
Tony.
So I just wanted to follow up on Ed's question on the Filipino American Studies. The Coalition for Critical Asian American Studies has currently been pushing efforts in order to develop a critical Asian studies minor here on this campus. So my question is like, how would you work with them in order to facilitate that allyship and coalition between them in order to also find support for Filipino Studies program? And as well as APIMEDO, which is the Asian Pacific Islander Middle Eastern Mexican American Research Center that we're also trying to push for in order to like have a resource center for our community, which is very lacking here on this campus.
That was a really
So in essence, like, so in reference to CCAS and APIMEDA, how would you work with them in order to develop these institutional changes, in order to like, make sure the academic side of like our culture is institutionalized so that like we have more visibility in the institution? Does that like simplify the question? Yeah. Alright.
So pretty much what you're asking is how to emphasize we need the minor in Filipino studies and how we're going to be able to communicate that with other organizations.
Well, it's more like the question leads towards the like how would you work with CCAS or in order to like increase that representation institutionally for our community in terms of like critical Asian American studies and Filipino studies and so on and so forth.
Okay. So how I plan to intend that is, well, the first step is always having, that being proud of your identity. Being proud of your identity means that you know who you are as a Filipino. What is your role in the university as a whole, not just in KP? And what I hope to do from that is, as an academic director, I want to be able to lead. I want to be able to push with other groups that you said. I want to be able to push that with other students who are proud of their identity. Besides being successful in academics, and hopefully I know all of you are, I plan that, and I hope that with this knowledge that we have of ourselves and what our capabilities of, we each have our own individual characteristics that we can put into the pot, and hopefully, and one day, have pushed for that major or minor that we strive for.
I would work with, because to make that minor is, I feel is like a really big step towards our representation. And in order to facilitate that, I would have to talk to other researchers. I would have to talk to my other board members. I'd have to go to STAR, to CORE, to all of them, because this isn't just a single task for me. I feel, because it's not something I can handle by myself. Is what I'm trying to say. It's something that I know. Being on board makes us a team, and then all of us would be working. We're all working towards that goal of trying to be more represented, trying to get ourselves out there, try to inform, and then I would have to work with STAR. I know I wouldn't be able to do it all by myself. I would have to talk to STAR, talk to CORE, and go out to other programs there's a AEP, and PUSH, and all of those kind of programs, just to see what they feel is lacking and what we really need to do.
Alright, Arzi, what are the questions?
Okay, so in both of your apps, both of you expressed setting high expectations for yourself and a tendency of being highly critical of yourself and your work. As stated earlier, there isn't much precedence to go off of when it comes to workshops or programs that are put on with academic director. So, and the only expectations are the ones that you kind of set for yourself. So, just in terms of your working style and everything, how do you react when things don't go as planned or your expectations are not met?
What I like to do, because I am constantly critical about myself, so and I know that there isn't, like, so that's why I want to keep getting all that feedback. I want to keep asking back to the community, like, what they feel they need. Not, because it's not, I can't be the voice for everyone else. I can't know, or not, it's not that I can't know, but, well, I can't know, but I can't decide for everyone what they need, what they feel is the best. And being a director, I just would be a resource to everyone else. I would guide them to, if they need something, if they need, and then, like, if things don't turn out, like, if I don't have anyone come to workshops or something along those lines, if I have a low turnout, then, like, I just keep focusing on, like, what is the issue, like, am I getting what I want to get done? Am I reaching out, do I want to reach to everyone, or do I want to, like, or for those that do I want to, like, just, like, ensure that they get what they wanted, essentially. And just be constantly critical of myself, and just keep getting feedback.
How do I react to things that I go as planned? I believe that is the wrong way to express it. How I see it is, there's a lot of room for improvement. It's just absolute room for improvement. There's nothing else to see. It's like, no one makes mistakes. I mean, yes, we all make mistakes, for humans, but the one thing that we have to learn from that is that we know what our mistakes are, and we need to be able to improve from what we came from, the mistakes that we had. And if my expectations then aren't met, I would go from where I started wrong, where I began to make my mistakes. How can I improve that? How am I, as a person, be able to give students what I can for them, and what can they give me? What can they give for me? Because with this position, I do not expect that I know everything. I know that I'm a student as well, and one thing is that I do not expect this to be like a mentor for other students. I want this to be, they're mentoring me as well. What can I do for them? What can I do for you? And I expect that if things do not go as planned, and that's when I know that I need help. I know that I can reach out to other students, but sometimes, even myself, I need to reach out to lower heads and see what they feel like. I mean, like, the reason why that upper heads are because of who they are is because of the lower heads, and that their voices, they help us where we are because they trust in us. They trust that we're going to do everything that we can in our power to give them that satisfaction that they want, that support that they need. Even though if they can't find it, I know that, even though they can't find it, I know that I will provide them with the resources that they need. And sometimes it's just, students just don't know where to look, and I hope that even though my things just don't go as planned, I know that, even though things that don't go as planned, I know that I will be able to just support them in any way that I can, because I'm an individual who can't say no to anyone, because I feel like I not only disappointed myself, but I disappointed everyone.
So those 5 questions.
So thank you. Yeah. Thank you, academic.